So, going with our scene of, or theme I should say, sorry, of non-portable sharpeners, let me introduce you to the tormek. So the tormek needs water and electricity. That's what makes it non-portable. I'm not saying it's bad. It's got some good features to it, and I'll go over that in a moment. So tormek is Swedish. It's excellently made. It's got a wonderful warranty. The jigs that you can get with it, you need several. I mean, maybe you could do it without jigs, I don't know. But you need various jigs, and the good thing about it is that this is a small tormek, a T4. There's T8, and I think there might be a T1 or a T2 as well. T7, older models. But the T4 and the T8, the jigs that you use for one are the same that you use on another one. So I could upgrade this to a T8, which is a lot more expensive, or I could have a T8 and swap down to a T4. So the jig's interchangeable. So that's the good thing. The other thing about it is that it runs through water. What that means, of course, is that it keeps everything cool. So your blade has a lesser chance of overheating than if you used it on a grinder, because this is essentially a grinder. It's a water cooled slow grinder. I think the revs per minute are around 120. I think the T8, which is, like I said, a bigger version, I think the RPM might be 100 there or something like that. You can get different stones. This is the stone that it comes with, the standard stone. I think it's I call it the originals. Yeah, I think it's aluminium oxide. I've also got a Japanese water stone that mounts on this, and you can get diamond versions as well. Diamond versions obviously take a lot more off. The Japanese water stone takes a lot less off and gives it a finer polish. The interesting thing about this stone is that with a little stick grinder that it comes with, you can run the stone. It's got two sides. It's got a rough side and a smooth side. If you run it on the smooth side, this is about 1,000 grit. If you flip it over, it breaks off some of the material, exposes it, and makes it sort of around 200 grit. So starting off, you might flick it to the 200, then you flip it back, you do it to the 1,000. You will lose a very small amount of stuff as you do that, and this slowly shrinks, and you can adjust that angle that you're grinding at by taking into account the size it is, and it's got the jig. Some of the jigs have a measure that lets you adjust them. Like I said, I think the T8 might have a 10-inch stone perhaps, and the T4 has a 200. This one has had a bit of wear. It's also, they can dish and change shape, and I've got a little jig which adjusts the angle of that as well. I don't think it's particularly good for knives. So a lot of people disagree with me and say I'm doing it wrong, and I could be. I just think my method is better for knives. I find this fantastic for chisels, for scissors, things like that, really good. Knives, I don't think it's that great. So I've got it set up at the moment with a knife angle setter, and I've set it to 15 degrees, and a knife jig which is holding the jig in place. I'm just going to turn it on now, and it runs through that trough of water. As it does so, if you haven't used it for a wee while, it just sucks up water like nobody's business. But that's okay, because as it sucks up the water, it'll eventually suck up enough to not need to suck up anymore, and water's cheap. This one as well as it is. And what you'll get is a nice cool stone. So what you do is you put it in the angle, you run it along. Now there's various agreements and disagreement about how you should through the edge. And maybe this is why I don't have much luck with it. Maybe I'm not getting it right. Now what you'll notice straight away, of course, is that because it's a wheel, you get a hollow grind. It's not a bad thing, it's just, hollow grinds tend to be super sharp. That just takes away more material than a normal grind. This knife, by the way, isn't finished. I'll just haven't polished the blade yet. I'll finish taking the handle. I'll finish the other one, so. And then on the other side of this, there's a strop, leather strop, so you can strop the knife once it's sharp. And you can see that's starting to make a mark there, and it's very slightly hollow grind. So that's the tormek. As you can see, super non-portable, requires electricity, requires water. I don't think it's good for knives. A lot of people use it for knives. There's lots of professional sharpeners who use it for knives. I think it's great for scissors. I think it's great for chisels, shears, things like that. I just prefer my method for knives. But what I do often do with a knife, and I'll use it now, is I'll sharpen the knife roughly on this, get the right shape, and then finish it on the KO, the TS Prof KO3, because that way I get rid of a lot of the material I'm trying to get rid of, and it makes it a faster sharpening process. So tormek. If I was going to start with tormek again, I'd probably fork out for a T8. This is the T4. It's not bad at all. It's just, I don't know, it has limitations. I'd never be really happy with the edge. Because once you've done one side, you then do the other side. It's currently set to finer grit, so it'll take stuff off at about 1,000 grit. And as well as doing it into the wheel, you can take this off, turn it around and do it away from the wheel. This does it a little bit faster, maybe slightly more dangerous, I'm not sure. Yeah, so that is the tormek, the T4. Non-portable, great for some tools. I don't think it's good for knives. Just my opinion.